All right, everybody. It's week 12. As you can see, this is a very special video here for the Money League. There's a couple things synonymous with week 12. One is football on Turkey Day, and number two is the Money fucking League and playoff craziness. Getting into it, every team's still in it. Last week I went 3-3. That puts me up to 38-28 for the season. As you can see, this week I'm joined to my right and to my left by some team owners. Clint, team owner of Goodfellas, for his second cameo of the year.
Great to be back.
Justin Jordan, Dothraki.
Thank you for having me.
And Chad Sexton, the Little Giants.
Gobble, gobble.
All right, hey, I like that right there. We did want to jump right into our segments. We don't want to keep it too long. We know it gets long and long-winded, but not today. We have this thing down pat. We're starting off with Marry, Fuck, Kill, and we're doing MFK a little bit differently this week. What we're going to do is we're going to let this guy take on the marry, this guy take on the fuck, and Chad's going to do the kill, and I have one little word for somebody special in the league. Go ahead.
Shmoo, we're all marrying your team. Your team has been hot, you're rolling. You got Stafford. From a fantasy perspective, he's playing well. He's a little off, in the regular game, but you still got Arian Foster coming off a bye. He's going to be a monster. You got Matt Leinart throwing the ball. He's at the helm. They're going to run the ball all day. And you still got the luxury of having Michael Bush or McFadden. So you're looking pretty good. Even though you're a little cocky on the message board, not appreciating that, but hey, you're looking good. Good luck to you. So we're all marrying you.
Now on to the fuck segment. We all agreed we're going to fuck Kuba's team. Even though Kuba's had no success, he's finally got a good team. He's rolling. I'm going to fuck him because all of a sudden Tony Romo's not throwing away games anymore. He's winning games. He's putting up big numbers. And I think Kuba's has the type of team where he's got 3 wide receivers. We've got Dez Bryant, Greg Jennings, and then he's got the tight end in Graham. It's going to be very tough to beat. Blunt, great second half running back. He trucked Green Bay last week, so that's why we're fucking you.
And for the kill, this might sound a little weird, but we're actually, for the first time of the year, we're going to kill you, Shaw. We think your team peaked a little too early there in the season. But over the last couple of weeks, things started falling off for you. You didn't pick up a couple of key running backs that you should have this week. And we feel like you should be killed this week.
He's fucking killed.
He's killed.
He's killed. He's back up to his old tricks.
And one last thing, Shmoo, enough of your fucking shenanigans. Like you said, we're sick and tired of your bullshit. Everybody, even teams that are doing well, you think you're fucking fantastic? Well, blow me. You think this is your last season? I don't give a fuck. On to Boom or Bust. It's segment number 3, fellas. It's Turkey Day. It's a hot week. Boom or Bust. I'm going to kick it off. Boom number 1, Matty Ice, going against that shit defense in Minnesota. I think he's going to throw it up. He's been throwing up over 300 yards the last couple weeks, and I think it continues this week. Then we're also going to go down to Ryan Matthews. Ryan Matthews, the last few weeks, really not doing much, but he's going against the defense that gave up a lot of passing and a lot of receiving the running backs last week, and I think it's going to continue on this week. I really do. And who do I think is going to bust it out? I think Forte without Cutler. I think Oakland's going to stack the box. I think he's going to have a below-par game. I'm not saying he's going to totally bottom out, but he's not going to be Forte. And Dez Bryant. The kid just doesn't come through more than one quarter. Never goes past one quarter. Not to mention this week, he's going against a team that, I don't know, I just think is going to lock him down. Bottom line, I think Miami with Vontae Davis shuts him down. He's a bust. Clint.
All right, I'm going to start off my boom with Jordy Nelson. Mikey, get Anquan Bolden on your bench and put Jordy Nelson in. This guy's been one of the best wide receivers, fantasy-wise, for the past 5 weeks. It's time to put him in your lineup. Big Turkey Day game for him. My next boom is Rashard Mendenhall. We've kind of been waiting for him to wake up all year. He's healthy. He's going to have a big week against Kansas City. Their run defense is terrible. My bust, DeMarco Murray, playing a top 10 rush defense this week on Turkey Day on short rest. I don't think he does what he's been doing fantasy-wise. DeMarco Murray is my first bust. And my second bust is going to be kind of a shock to everybody, but it's Andre 3000. Everybody's all up in arms over what happened over Andre 3000, but now he's got Matt Leinart throwing him the ball. I don't think it's going to work out, and so he's busting.
Clint, don't appreciate you taking one of my players in your bust segment, but
Hey,
we'll start off with my first boom. It's actually one of your players, Marshawn Lynch. Welcome back to Fantasy Relevancy, my man. This guy has been a beast. 23 carries, 32 carries, 27 carries. Those are his carries in the last 3 weeks. 6
Yeah.
touchdowns in the last 6 games. This guy is on a tear. So that's my boom for the. That's my first boom. Second boom, Cam Newton. This guy, this rookie phenom, is a monster. Absolute monster. Nobody on this panel, nobody in the draft room thought this guy was going to be doing half of what he's doing now, and he's going to continue against the suck for luck Indianapolis Colts. Those are my 2 booms. My busts. 2 running backs, 2 stud running backs. These guys are playing on Thanksgiving. They're going up against 2 absolute monster linebackers. So we got Frank Gore going up against Ray Lewis. And we got
If he plays.
Calm down, this is my time.
Hey.
And we got Ray Rice. We got Ray Rice going against Patrick Willis. There's not going to be many running lanes for these 2 running backs. They've done their thing up until this point. They will continue to do well after this, but this game, not going too well for them. Those are my 2 busts.
And I'm going to second what Justin said earlier. I don't appreciate Clint busting one of my players, but
Especially a new player.
except for my new player who I traded for. But anyhow, for my boom players, I'm going Monday night. It seems like big-time players, always step up in big-time games. I'm taking Hakeem Nicks and Marquise Colston, both to have good games in this shootout Monday night. And for my bust, I'm going with Shaw again. I'm going with your running backs. You're in trouble over there. You didn't seem to pick up any help this past week when there's a couple of good guys out there. And so your running backs are my bust.
I like that.
And again, what Justin said, Frank Gore. Frank Gore's going to have trouble out there Thursday night against Baltimore, one of the best run defenses in the game over the past 5-6 years, and one of the best linebackers the game's ever seen in Ray Lewis if he plays. So
All right. So we got our booms and busts down. Now we're getting into some matchups, and there's some key motherfucking matchups this week. There's a lot of playoff implications with almost every single game. There's one that really doesn't have it. We'll get into that game as well, obviously. But the first game we get into is me versus Shaw. Obviously, I'm 3-8, down and out, but I'm not completely out, still breathing. Shaw 10-1 got his first loss last week thanks to Shmoo. Shaw's team's a walking match unit right now, running back. Yes, he's got Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he's got Calvin Johnson. But I think Big Ben, Mike Wallace, of course I'm going to pick my fucking guys. Beanie Wells is the game breaker. He comes back against St. Louis.
Okay. I'm going to take Jimmy in this matchup just because of Shaw's running back situation. Things were riding high for Shaw all year long, but when the going gets tough, Shaw doesn't do anything. He's got serious injuries now on his team, like you've heard in people's previous segments. He's not doing anything to fix it. He's kind of a set-it-and-forget-it guy. My game breaker in this one is Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace has a big game, and Shaw, here we go again.
Very interesting. Here we go. This is going to be something that we've never seen as you've been doing this for the past couple years now. We're actually having somebody pick against Jimmy. Jimmy, you're losing this week.
He picked against me in the first time because I was playing him.
Okay. Well, here we go. Second time. Jimmy, you're losing this week. Shaw,
Beautiful thing.
everyone killed you, but your team, you still got a stacked team. You're getting hit by the injury bug, but I think you still roll this week. Game breaker Aaron Rodgers got knocked out last year when he played against the Detroit Lions. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He airs it out against the weak Green Bay secondary.
I mean,
Detroit secondary.
I love this matchup here. I think Shaw he could really beat Jimmy this week, and but that just wouldn't be exciting. That wouldn't be money league down the wire playoff implication. This is a big game. I think Jimmy wins this game. I really do. I love the Ben Roethlisberger Mike Wallace combination. It only takes one throw, 180-yard touchdown grab that really boosts his points there. And I think that's my game breaker right there. Is those two guys, the combination of them two, to bring Jimmy over the top in this game. And Shaw's hurting, so I'll take Jimmy.
All right, matchup number 2. We got the guy we're all marrying, but we all hate, Shmoo versus Clint, right to my right here. Shmoo's 8-3, Clint 6-5. They're both looking pretty healthy for the playoff, so this isn't really a big, huge playoff implication game. But I think Stafford on Thanksgiving, those running backs of Bush and Arian Foster. I mean, Vic might play, he might not play. Turner's obviously a beast. Lynch is a beast. I think wide receivers, V. Jackson, Nicks take it for him. Game breaker is going to be Arian Foster blowing up. Sorry, Clint. I'm going with Shmoo.
Okay. I'm obviously not going to pick against myself. I'm hoping that Michael Vick will play against a bad Pats secondary. If he does play, he's going to put up big numbers. However, if he doesn't, I'm going to start Josh Freeman against Tennessee. I think he'll do okay. Main thing this week about Shmoo's team is Michael Bush going against the Chicago defense. I think Chicago's defense trims that Bush, and I think I'll take this game.
Who's your game breaker for you?
Game breaker is going to be Marshawn Lynch. I think Justin and Chad would both agree.
Absolutely. He was my game breaker, but I am going with Shmoo to win this game. Clint, your team has got hit with the injury bug. Vic's questionable. You got Deshaun Jackson questionable. Besides, he could go for 100 yards, get it all called back because he's an idiot. He's a complete moron. So Shmoo's team's he's stacked over there. He's rolling. He's got, Stafford playing well, Bush playing well, Arian Foster playing well. I'm not sold on Hicks, sorry, and I'm not sold on Vincent Jackson, but he rolls this week to beat you, Clint. Sorry.
I like this matchup as well. I originally had Shmoo over Clint with a game breaker of Stafford on Turkey Day, but I'm going to go Clint here.
Well, reverse.
I'm going Clint here. I really like his running backs. I really like his wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson against New England. I don't like to pick against the home team, but I like Deshaun Jackson to get a deep ball in this one. And I love Marshawn Lynch and Michael Turner, so I think Clint's going to squeeze this one out.
Right.
So would you say the game breaker is Deshaun?
Deshaun Jackson against New England, I'll take the game breaker.
All right, next game. We're going to speed it up for these last few games. Mikey versus the Forge, both 6-5. Mikey's in a 2-game tailspin. The Forge is rising. My opinion, the Forge takes it down. Matty Ice is the reason why.
I'm going with the Forge as well. Bottom line, SJ39 is my game breaker. We know I'm not a huge fan of Mikey, but I'm still going to take the Forge because, Mikey, you're keeping Jordy Nelson on your bench, and if you don't put him in, you're going to lose.
Mikey, I'm going with you, my man. You're going to win this week. I'm going the complete opposite direction as Jimmy. Matt Forte. The only way the Chicago Bears stay in the playoff hunt and they actually continue winning is to get Forte the ball. Whoever they have at quarterback, whoever they have at the helm, they're not going to win any games. You get Forte the ball anyway, anyhow. Mikey, big win over DeForge.
I'm going DeForge in this one. I like his team top to bottom, and I think the game breaker this week is going to be Reggie Wayne. I think against Carolina, Reggie Wayne's going to have a 7 grabs for maybe $110 to touch, which he hasn't done all year. So I like Reggie Wayne this week as my game breaker, and I think DeForge wins in a close one, low scoring game, 1,200, 1,300.
You're picking game numbers now? The fuck?
That's good.
All right, next game. This is actually a matchup of these two gentlemen to my left.
Lot of heat in
Chad
this
versus
room.
JJ. Lot of
Lot
how
of
we
heat.
match them up next to each other.
Sweat.
Me and Clint are going to barely make a decision that they can go ahead and preach each other's team. I'm going Chad Gronk as the game breaker. Sorry, Justin.
You know what? I don't even have to say anything because I agree with exactly what Jimmy said. I have it written down right here in my notes. Chad's going to win. Gronk's my game breaker.
It's interesting. You go back and take a look at when we run these segments. Anytime Jimmy usually picks against me, and as Clint, his first appearance he picked against me, they're usually wrong. So you guys out there, vote for me, root for me, because I'm going to take this game down. We got DeMarco Murray going against the Dolphins. He's going to run all day over them. Falco, he's a little suspect, but he's going against San Fran. They're going to try and establish the run. It's not going to happen. They're going to have to start chucking the ball. They're starting to figure out the Pats' passing game. You shut down Welker, start to shut down Gronk. Brady doesn't have that good of a game. They still upwinding. Chad's team shut down. I win this week. Thank you.
Well, Justin, the only way you win this game is if you think back 6 years ago, we actually tied. And it went to bench scoring to decide the game. My bench is terrible. I'll tell everybody in the league, my bench is probably hands down the worst bench in this league. I can't even muster up 200 points with them. But my starting lineup is dangerous. After that, this is the team I wanted. This is why I made the trade. I get Andre 3000 back this week, and that's my game breaker. I think Andre's going to be my game breaker this week, and I'm taking down Justin. And the BOW.
Oh, he's calling BOW. Although, we're getting into GOWs right now. There's 2 GOWs on Thanksgiving, and the reason being, it's all playoff implications, baby. There's 2 games that I think have direct playoff implications. First one, Igor versus Joel. 5-6 Igor, 4-7 Joel, making a late run. If Igor wins, he seals the deal for the playoffs. If Joel wins, he climbs himself even with Igor, and it's nice and even Steven there. I'm picking Joel. I'm picking Roddy White versus Minnesota. He's gonna fucking tear that defense apart.
This week I was going to marry Joel's team until I looked at this matchup. I'm taking Igor. My game breaker is a 2-player combination of Steve Smith and Cam Newton. I'm sorry, Joel. After this week, your season's over.
I usually don't agree with Clint, but I think you nailed it right on the head right there. Sorry, Joel, my man. Igor is going to take you down. He's got the dynamic duo of Cam Newton and Steve Smith. Too much for you to overcome. You had some great performances from Torrey Smith, Roddy White last week. They're just not going to have enough to muster up a win. Igor takes it down.
I'm going Joel here. My game breaker is going to be Eli in that Monday night game with the Saints. I think it's going to be a shootout. I like Eli to have a good game. I'm taking Joel.
In the last matchup, last GOW, Joey 4-7, Kuba 4-7. This winner gets into the 8th slot. I'm going Joey by a shocker here. I think Kuba's got a lot of injuries. I think Joey's team is all coming back off of buys. Sproles is my game breaker. He goes off.
I'm going to take Kuba. I like Kuba in this matchup. I think LeGarrette Blount's one of the best second-half running backs. He proved that last week against Green Bay. I mentioned the 3 wide receivers with him. And my game breaker for this one is definitely Jimmy Graham. He's the only tight end in the league that matches up well with Gronk.
Interesting, Clint. I'm going to piggyback off exactly what Clint said. I'm going with Kuba to win this game. Joey, I think you have 4 wins. How you mustered up 4 wins this season is mind-boggling to me. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Congratulations. You might be on a 5-game losing streak. You're going to go on a 7-game losing streak. You're not going to win another game. Sorry, my man. Kuba, you win this game. Game breaker. Jimmy Graham.
I'm with Jimmy here. I'm with you, Joey. I'm with Joey here in this game. I like Santonio Holmes against Buffalo. I like the Jets to bounce back there, so I think Santonio Holmes is going to have a good game, and I'll take Joey.
All right, and that's it. My money league mofos, as I like to call you. That's week 12. We're not going to wrap it up. You got our picks. Go back and watch them. It's happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Eat a lot of turkey, and fuck you all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Good job.